Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session, Role of the Cities in Financial Inclusion of Migrants. It is my great pleasure to be the moderator during this session, during the social finance vibe, and I have a pleasure to have excellent panel that has a very interesting experience coming from the different stakeholders of how they see the role of the cities and how they interview the cities can support the migrants and refugees financial inclusion. So I would like to very briefly introduce the panel. I have Emilia Postolache, who is the European Affairs Officer for the Council of Europe Development Bank. She represents the bank in the European Technical and Policy Fora and works with potential clients and the European Commission defining projects benefiting vulnerable groups that might be financed by the EU. Prior to joining CEB, Emilia has worked on defining and implementing public infrastructure projects in EU and enlargement and neighborhood countries. Then it's my great pleasure to welcome Andrea Garello Cantoni, President of Microlab Association. Andrea was born in Genoa. He's mechanical engineer, holds a master's degree in business management from Bocconi. After 20 years in Swedish strategy consulting group SMG, founded by Richard Norman, he held the implementation of FIXO, Trading and Innovation for Employment project, financed by the Ministry of Labor and Social Policies. During business trip to Africa, Andrea fell in love with Cape Town. 12 years ago, he decided to leave consulting and found a company, Cape Best, based in Milan, Italy, which imports handcrafts and wine from South Africa. Since 2018, he has been business mentor. In 2022, Andrea decided to accept the challenge in a time of great transformation, become the president of Microlab Association. Then Ms. Freshta Hussein, chairman of Migrant Council, City of Potsdam. She was born in Kabul, Afghanistan. In 2020, she's in Germany, in Potsdam. She's currently working as a consultant for migration social work in the area of social work in FMI. She's a specialist, which is a specialist center for migration integration. And last but not least, Timothy Donato, who is a project manager for Empower in Microlab. Timothy was born in Biella, Italy. He has been professional educator for over 15 years. His experience includes leading the implementation of projects in the youth education field. In the last 5 years, he had focused on developing projects in the migration sector, creating education and training programs for young foreigners in Italy. Starting this year, Timothy has embraced the challenge presented by Microlab, taking the role of project manager in the ambitious multidimensional project Empower in the city of Turin. So it is really my great pleasure to have you today on this panel. And I would like to maybe ask Freshta first to tell a little bit about the Migrant Advisory Board, Migrant Advisory Council, and how it developed. What is the role of that you are having in that council, and how do you work with the city of Potsdam?
Yes, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today about Migrant Advisory Council in Potsdam. The members of the Migrant Advisory Council represent the interest of migrants in the state of Potsdam. The Migrant Advisory Board for the state capital Potsdam has been covering since founding in 1992. The advisory board is a democratically elected representative body for all migrants and refugees in Potsdam. The members all be 5 years elected by migrants who have their residence in Potsdam.
I think we lost Freshta.
We are known parties, thus migrants and refugees. I think it was too quickly.
Thank you very much. But we lost also half of your speech. But I hope that will be a possibility for to go back to it for the things. So I understand that what the Migrant City Council is doing is helping with the promote social and cultural integration with the voluntary work that you are doing together with the different members of the advisory board, right? So how Potsdam as the city can be more welcoming city for newly arriving people. So if I summarize it correctly, then then I think maybe we can move to Andrea to tell us a little bit about your work that the Microlab Association is doing, and how do you collaborate with cities?
Sure. Thanks, Timothy. We share the presentation, and Timothy will share the file, I guess, the PowerPoint presentation. The idea to have a PowerPoint presentation was to make it easier the communication among the participant and to show what we have done.
You want to share now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We go quickly. Thanks, Timothy.
Okay.
Role of the cities in financial inclusion of migrants. Cities are, to me, crucial actors because all the statistics about the competition, growth of the nation is related to the metropolitan areas and the cities. So in the next slide, I ask you to take a picture, take a note of a number, which is very simple, but is crucial for the project. 215.4. We'll come back to this number quite quickly. Next one. So what is doing Associazione Migrolab? We are based in Italy. We have two offices in Turin and Naples. We do mentoring, employability, and training to, let me say, minorities or disadvantaged people. We start in 2003, so we are 20 years old. And we have been promoting social inclusion by supporting self-entrepreneurship via business mentoring and entrepreneurial training, job orientation to the young and reorientation to the others, financial education for the economic independence. We have, second row, a national network of over 50 business mentors committed to give back knowledge and experience to the community. Which are the opportunities? The government, the Italian government, issued a decree on migration flows to 2023-2025. The Italian government's call for the arrival of 425,000 workers. Companies say that this number is not sufficient. The Italian Social Security Agency, the welfare system, without immigrants, they say future pensions are at risk. Foreign-born citizens account for 80% of the Italian population and 10% of the Italian labor force. All these data come from a partner in this project, in the PAFMI project. So there is a very solid ground behind each number we use. 10% of the enterprises in Italy are made up of foreigners. Financially included foreigners have a greater propensity to save than the Italians. And studies show that financial inclusion promotes social and economic stability in the host country, Italy in this case. Which are the threats? Difficulties in accessing basic financial instruments like opening bank accounts, language and certification, recognition of educational qualification. I mean, if I am an engineer from Afghanistan, the graduation is not automatically recognized in Italy, so I lose all my qualifications. Another threat, the mortality rate of enterprises created by foreign persons is 7% instead of 1.2 total for the lack of support networks. So the small companies made by immigrants or migrants are fragile. Poor knowledge of the microloan and microcredit and other business financial instruments, low skill employment regardless of the higher starting professional conditions. I mentioned the hypothetical engineer from Afghanistan. So the metropolitan cities are a very important actor in the financial inclusion. In the last few years, say 20 years, we moved from a centralized city management to a widespread management scattered throughout the territory from a vertical to a subsidiary logic. 20 years ago, the municipality was in charge of providing any service. Now they use the subsidiary logic, and the services are provided by other actors. The loss of centrality favors pluralism, but there is a risk of losing knowledge of the territory and its needs. Cities are more complex entities than its administration. Cities are composed by all entities that live there: associations, schools, business, sport clubs, bar, and citizens. So it's a complicated system, and they need a lot of integration to work properly. Empowering migrants in professional welfare and economic rights. Empower is a PAFMI grant funded by the AMIF, Asylum, Migration and Integration Fund of the European Commission, and managed by SEB, Council of Europe Development Bank. The goal is to improve the inclusion of migrants in Italy by increasing their employability, including self-employment, and raising awareness of financial inclusion of non-European citizens in Piedmont, Turin. We use the metropolitan area of Turin as a laboratory. Thematic areas, employment and skills and education, the budget is in excess of 500,000 euros.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Andre, to the presentation. I'm going to go on with this presentation, the importance of the network for inclusion. We have a huge partnership, as you can see. There are a lot of members that help us in this project, and everyone has a different specificities and expertise. And as you can see, there are also included the municipalities of Turin and Settimo Torinese. About the activities, there are a lot of activities in this project: one-to-one mentoring and tutoring services, included in career counseling or business orientation, title recognition, and business plan drafting. Group training as dual career or working right, and financial education and business development, and economic support as microcredit and not repayable fund. The most important thing is that all the activities are accompanied by a focus on social impact assessment, promotion of inclusive practices, and raising awareness of the topic of financial inclusion of migrants. As told Andrea before, is not just the activities on to the beneficiaries that can change the inclusion, the financial inclusion of migrants, but we need that all the population are involved in this. About the achievement, in the first month of the project, we reach out 142 beneficiaries. 60% of them are women and 26% are under the age of 30. There are 87 stakeholders, different stakeholders involved in this project about awareness or laboratory, territory laboratory, or other activities for operators and mediators, cultural mediators. About the outcome and social impact, I'm going fast, but we expect a social return of €2.95 per euro invested, with a total of 1.61 million. The goals of the municipalities can be, of course, not all the issue that we spoke now can be resolved by a municipality alone. The goals can be co-design solution with public and private decision maker, or spread clear perspectives, or stimulate to go to language learning on self-finance. But the most important things, the goal of Empower, is bring together the stakeholder and ensure that people can hear me.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Now
sorry. Perfect. And the possibility that all the population can be ensured of this inclusion. Andrea?
Well, can you remember the number, the magic number, 215.4? What this is? Well, this is the aging index, how old the population is. From a statistic point of view, is made by dividing the number of people over 65 divided by the number of people under 14 multiplied by 100. So if this number grows, the population is older. And in the metropolitan area of Turin, we moved from 174 to 215. So in 2021. So this means that the population of the city is getting older and older. So ideally, someone could ask, do we prefer another COVID? So in order to reduce the number of people, or a reduction of retirement, so people continue working, or a well-designed immigration. Of course, everybody chooses for the well-designed immigration, and the goal of Empower 2.0 are the creation of a permanent territorial laboratory in which all the city's actors, public and private, profit and non-profit, come together to address the issue of inclusion of vulnerable group and to design a true effective ecosystem service for immigrants.
Thank you very much. That is a very great introduction to the project that you are doing. And I also think this is a great introduction to Emilia, because you are the one responsible for PAFME from the Council of Europe Development Bank. So can you give maybe the audience a little bit, introduce the project? We had more specificities right now from Andrea and Timothy, but I think it would be really interesting to learn more about PAFME itself and what you are doing in the banks and in the bank, and what is the plans for the future.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here. Congratulations, Kasia, for putting such a challenging, an interesting event in a challenging environment. As we could see, sometimes the connections do not work, but it just happens. And I mean, it's only natural with this type of platforms. Before I go into PAFME, I would like to provide a brief context and to respond to the topic of the panel. that is the role of the cities in promoting or enabling migrant financial inclusion. As the CEB, I won't go into a lot of details about the bank because you had two great colleagues before me in the event that have referred to what we do. But as CEB, we finance cities with their infrastructure and service investments. We also can help governments putting up larger programs in place, support programs in place. We work with the European Commission quite often whenever there is, for instance, a vulnerable group that would need additional support or that would need co-financing to make the investment feasible. And we also work with NGOs and other social economy actors. But we noticed a few years back that while we work with all these parties, we rarely see an instance where we support through funding the putting up in place of a partnership that would include all these partners into what we hope to be a multi-level governance model. And why we believe in that is because we think migrants would need not necessarily one-stop shop, even beyond that, a long-term response to their integration efforts and wishes. And this cannot depend on a project by project, 3 year by 3 year, but ideally we would have, we enable a system that would be there for the longer term and that could be supported through funding by various resources, and that the various resources could not necessarily come from only one source or be managed by one party, but could come from different places, such as an association like Microlab or a microfinance institution. In other words, we would like to see more public-private cooperation around migrant financial inclusion at the level of the cities, but not only. So PAFMI was supposed to promote that, and we are grateful to DG Home, that is the European Commission, for entrusting us with that idea, with running and piloting this type of idea. And we are also grateful to all the interest that we got from various parties, and in particular to the 4 consortia that we in the end selected and that are now implementing their projects, one of which is Microlab. Also to maybe go back a little bit in history, I was there when the idea was being shaped up, because that's my role. The implementation is now with Nida Krasniki, who's in among the participants, and who would be happy to provide live for another event, or if after the event you have questions, live updates on where the project is. To go back to PAFMI, so we have a consortium led by Associazione Microlab that you have heard about. We also work in Belgium with a consortium that is led by Microstat, microfinance institution. Again, the focus is on employment and skills. In Netherlands, we work again with an MFI-led consortium by Credit. And in Finland, we have a different type of consortium, in the sense that we have the city of Vantaa, who's leading research and the employment and education consortium. All these, all the 4 consortia aim to promote the establishment of a more or less formal partnership between the municipalities and microfinance and CSO organizations that would promote financial inclusion of migrants. If there are questions, I would then, or during the discussion, I could provide more details.
Thank you very much. I think there will be some time for question and answers, but maybe right now because a lot of interesting things were shared. So I would maybe first I would like to learn from you if you can tell any specific initiatives that City of Potsdam is doing with the Migrant Council, and how you can support migrants in facilitating the business services or access to finance, or just the participation in the general discussion of the city to shape a little bit the policy.
Yes, of course. The migrant advisory in Potsdam give advice to the Mayo City Council and also city administration. But we also we do different things, not just advice, and also we support all migrants and refugees project also to bring into the council. There's also something that we are supported. It's from 2017 we do this one. This is a part of a guideline for promotion and offers for the social integration and of refugees. Every projects and for migration and refugees apply every year for some projects, and the city offers 50,000 euros, and we have like a premium, and then we are sitting here and looking about all application and which are for children, for family, and all for all people, just not for migration and refugees. Must all people who are living in the city to join this project. And after that, we decide how many every projects become monies for this, because we must show how the rent is, the rooms, and how many person are making, for example, workshops, or need, for example, they're going to in a city or going to in Berlin and visiting some culture and political areas, and how many take this money. Then after that, we decide this is together with the government, and every project take become monies for this small project, because every city in Berlin have a small budget. They are coming from a whole big budget, and every city is small, and then it's belong how many people are living in the city, and how many refugees and migrants are living in the city. That belongs to the budget.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. So also maybe from the Micro Lab, with your experience, either to Timothy and Andrea, if there is any lessons that you already see working with the city of Turin and the migrants that are in the city and the financial inclusion, what things is the highlight, because the project has been running already for a few months. So what do you see is happening?
Timothy, can you show the two slides on the what we call the fatal error that we could have if we don't work properly? Well, it comes from a different experience, but just for this, it shows how phenomena are the same even in different sectors. And this was an example of a project for the Italian railway system. We worked for the local transportation division, and apparently all the great. Well, I can read it. We call this the 2 minutes fatal error. In a major project for Trenitalia, the Italian National Railway Group, many operational parameters were measured in the local transportation division. Punctuality and speed, maintenance, cost, and mean time between failure. I mean, very technical parameters. Number of passengers moved and the cost to revenues ratio. All the indicators were good enough with improvement from the previous year. So apparently the management had solid numbers to be proud of, or not. And then we moved to interviewing the passengers, and they were furious, very angry with the division, the train system. Since in many stations, the train arrived on time, but a bit late for the connecting bus to the workplaces. In an important station near Milan, the train was on time again, but 2 minutes late to catch the buses. So what is the lesson learned from there, which is to me crucial for the migrant project and PAFMI? The local transportation division was not in the business of moving people from one station to another station. Rather, it was, at least in some hours, in the business of enabling people to go to work on time and in a positive mood, ignoring the entire process in which a local division was playing was a fatal error. The same applies in Italy to all the entities involved in the human capital that we call migrants. Any office or even a bank performing a fraction of the entire process of the inclusion of the migrants is responsible not only for their own office indicators, rather for the indicator of the entire process of enhancing and freeing 10% of the Italian human capital. So again, responsibility and accountability for the entire process are the keywords of the PAFMI model that we should diffuse in all the major metropolitan areas in Italy. We cannot cut into pieces, into slices of the process. We have an organization that we call the laboratory, the territorial laboratory, to be in charge of overviewing all the process of integration. Otherwise, the fatal error of the 2 minutes will be very easy to find again. If one office does not care about the total process, they can perform it, but let me say, the document is ready 1 day later. So the migrants don't get the good service they deserve. So integration again.
Thank you very much for that. Emilia, maybe because you were designing the project, and right now as it's running and you see the different pieces, and of course hearing also your co-panelists, was there something that you can tell is a new insight for you, or you kind of have already ideas for the kind of moving forward with the next phases?
It is, and I can confirm that we are looking forward to seeing the outcomes of the 4 projects, and to reflect on that and to see how this type of model could be taken forward. I'm not sure about being scaled up, but at least to be continued and maybe implemented in other parts of Europe where we are working.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It's maybe it's a good moment to ask the participants if they have any question to you as a panelist, and or they would like to share some reflection. So I didn't see anything in the chat, but I believe we have maybe some. If not, then I of course have a question, because that's my privileged roles of this thing. So so maybe from the how often do you communicate with the city level? Is there any established mechanism? I know, Emilia, that you are in the urban partnership, so maybe you can share a little bit from that, but also from Timothy and Andrea and Fereshta, if there are any mechanism that you can use for communication. So Emilia, if you can start, and then we go to other.
Absolutely. So we obviously we are in touch with the cities that we work with all over Europe, but there is a platform that we that concerns migrant integration, and that we have been active since the start. That's called, under the Urban Agenda, it's called the Partnership for Inclusion, and we will be starting a new mandate, a new 2-year mandate in January. The partnership is led by the city of Amsterdam with DG Home, and it aims to provide 2 things. One is an opportunity to exchange on challenges faced by cities as well as associated bodies in integrating migrants or responding to migrant needs, exchanging best practice, but also reflecting this was our role on the funding mechanism in place to respond to that, and whether the funding mechanism or the funding instruments should be adapted better, or we should think of other means of financing that would respond better to such needs. And if you're interested in the partnership, I mean, and if the speakers are interested in the partnership, I would be happy to share more at the early 2024, when we would have defined the activities and the interests of the group.
Thank you very much. Freshta, from your perspective?
Yeah, but Amelia said it's too much interesting. I want to also work just not inside of Potsdam. Just we want to also work outside, and also join with another project on another counseling, to working together and make more ideas on how to work easily and how to provide for the people who are living in Potsdam. But we are also prepared for election for next year, because a migration council in Potsdam also have the same election like European election, because now we are preparing everything and making also too much campaign for people who are joined to this election, because the people don't have any German residence and they cannot join in European election and also German election. This is the one opportunity to join in Potsdam, to use this one and join, to have a chance. Because of that, as we are doing too much of money, we are inviting people, and also we are going to in very different projects and culture programs, and we are speaking with people how is important to join in election, because it is your rights. You have just one way to choose a migration council, and also be active and do with us together. And it is your right. You have to learn how democratic and also a German political or working here, because it is also, it's a kind of education, because you learn the way how to deal with political, how German political or doing his stuff like that. And also we have also mentoring program. We have 4 people, 2 women and 2 men. They are coming about 2-3 years from another country, from Syria and also from Ukraine. They join with us. We are going to every meetings and also every programs, and we are talking with political. We teach these people how to talk with the political, how to write papers, how to write a position paper like that. We are making people also ready for next election, and also is like also education how to deal in Germany with politically. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. And then to Timothy and Andrea, to you, how is the collaboration with the city of Turin going? And
okay, so complicated question, because we work together, of course, in that project with the municipalities of Turin and Settimo Torinese. It's a small cities near Torino. Our collaboration is not bad, but I guess it's not enough. If I thought the role that we imagine for them at the beginning of the project. I try to explain. As Andrea told before, municipalities in Italy, I guess, I don't know outside, but in Italy, lost their centrality for a vision or horizontal vision, okay, with subsidiarity. This is a very good chance to for a bigger involved population, different possibility to find access for our issue. But the risk, the most important risk, is the loss of the vision. Okay, so we work together very well. I guess that, and we are trying to do, find new partnership with the other part of the cities. For example, Case del Quartiere are the houses of the neighborhood that are the places where people can go, meet, and maybe have a bar, and can reach people and issue for the people in a different way as public office. So this is our challenge now: involve the cities in different way.
Thank you very much.
It's good enough to explain. Sorry, it was
no, it's perfect. Thank you very much. And as we are running out of time because we reached the hour, Andrea, if you would like to maybe say the famous last words, and I launch a poll for the evaluation poll, so it will pop up. But Andrea, please, you know.
Quickly. I think that the PAFMI project is not useful. It's vital. I mean, if the population is getting older and older, there is no way to find not to work properly with the migrants. So working together, finding places to organize a complex system is mandatory. I think it's.
Thank you. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
I think it cut off the last, but thank you very much all. I think this is the beginning of the conversation because, you know, as you said, it's a vital project. It's really needed. Multi-stakeholder engagement on different level is necessary. So I'd like to thank you very much, the panelists, for sharing the insight. I would like to thank you, the participants, for being with us, and I hope to continue this conversation on the different occasions. So definitely this is not the end. This is just the beginning. So thank you, and I wish you all a very wonderful afternoon.